Yeah, I do feel like I have a little bit of knowledge, a lot of knowledge, but about a little bit of things. And so when people are speaking, that's why I feel like I need someone else in the room with me to be like asking the question about what it is that I'm bringing. Because, yeah, I've heard a little bit about something somewhere, and I feel like I have answers.
Hello, I'm Ruth Barclay, and this is Taste Your Magic, the YouTube channel, and we are doing readings this week. I'm called the Oracle around the world. I work with people all over with their gifts, with their businesses, their relationships. We help them develop more of their inner power and their outer power and making it into a superpower. And today we've got a guest back on, which is awesome. Today we have Jana back with us. Welcome back. And her hair's a different color, which is about every time I see you. So it's matching really good. And we were discussing just some of your creative, what you can create in the world with your hands and your gifts naturally that way. But today you said you had a question, so we kind of snuck her on for her own. What's your question you have?
Well, the question is when other people can see my gift, but I'm not seeing it. Recently asked to come be part of a summit. And, it's going to be like pre-recorded, 20-minute, me just speaking. And so I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do? But she's like, just use your magic. And I feel like sometimes I don't know how to just come up with it on my own. It's almost like I feel like I have to be talking to someone else to be inspired. And like, I don't know what my magic is. So she's like, just how you embody the essence of you, but I don't know how to speak about that. Does that make sense? Or like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, I'm just being me, but I don't understand how that projects out and how I can find a way to speak on a subject or to do an activation.
See, so you're being part of a summit. You're being asked to be part of the summit, and they are asking you to just bring your magic, right? And you're asking me, you're just being you, but what's the magic you get to bring? And how are they going to kind of see it? And how do they participate in something like that where you're just going to be talking and sharing and things like that, right?
Yeah, but I feel like don't have something off the top of my head that I could just say or do or
right
without being, I don't know, sparked.
You enjoy the question answer type situations, or we're going to do this project and we're going to do this activity and you get to step in and do it, right? Okay, so you can do two things. So like if I was to speak on stage, or I was going to do a show or TV or something like that, or just like a project or a retreat or something, what I like to do is feel into the subject of it first, because you have a lot of energy around you, and because you can tap into a lot of lines of magic in a sense and like activate that line. So if someone's doing like your quilting work or something, you can pull from your gift and activate that line and help them out. If it's card reading, if it's inner work, something like that, you can activate those things. And so that's a gift naturally of who you are. So I can see why this would be a challenge. So the summit, you tap into the concept of the summit, and then you ask yourself to open out that line that can best serve the summit. So one, you can do it that way, or you could say, what am I needing to amplify myself or develop in myself? Like a business or something like that. And then you activate that anyway. So what are you thinking? You feel like you want to give the summit something that amplifies it, or do you want to use the summit to give to you to amplify it?
My question is what you just said. What is it? So what do you see that maybe is coming in that then I am wanting to amplify or myself, but then that's something that I can share?
Yeah. Okay. Well, give me an idea what the summit is.
I'm actually not 100% sure, but I think it's more like light workers showing up to be the way shower, kind of, right?
So this would work both ways, what I was going to say. Let's just stick to Jana is a thread finder and lighter. Okay. Like you light up the life of a line a life of a gift. And so if you were to come in and be like, hey, I'm Jana, and I get asked to come, Jana, just come bring your magic. And really what that is I get to be me. And part of what me is, I get to feel, see, sense the lines of others' gifts, or what could amplify a subject, what could bring clarity to a room of people. And part of what I do is I breathe in and I ask, show me this, or tell me your question. And as you tell me a question, I ask more on this question and I can light up minds. So tell me a little bit of what you're hearing at that.
Yeah, I do feel like I have a little bit of knowledge, a lot of knowledge, but about a little bit of things. And so when people are speaking, that's why I feel like I need someone else in the room with me to be like asking the question about what it is that I'm bringing. Because yeah, I've heard a little bit about something somewhere and I feel like I have answers.
Yeah, you have more answers than you could even explain kind of why you have those answers.
Yeah, right? Because I just remember little things here and there from like, or even it feels like sometimes when someone walks into the room, like 2 days earlier, I have seen something that I have never heard of before. And then someone walks in and starts talking about it. And they're like, oh yeah, this. And I have a little bit more information to share with an experience that they even just had.
Perfect. This is a little bit of what psychics do. This is a little bit of how you can interpret the cards. This is a little bit how you can see what the blanket wants to be created as, right? Or you get to see the magic of it and then bring a thread through.
Well, even like your earrings, when you showed up with your earrings today, I actually just had someone tell me that I needed to work on bird medicine and finding the different types of birds and the different stuff. And like literally that same day, someone had created feather wand with like 15 different feathers on it from 15 different birds. And then you have different feather earrings and stuff like that. So lots of bird conversations all of a sudden have been coming up, and feathers. And I don't feel like I ever was a bird person, but now the birds are coming. And so like whatever medicine the birds have are something that I guess I get to look into.
Yeah. Synchronicities and entanglement, a natural guidance system inside their body. They can connect with each other and they can communicate through hearts, through the wavelengths, through different things like that. That's a lot of what you do. You connect into the synchronicities that are being asked. You are connecting to the hearts that you're going to be talking to before you talk to them. You're being prepped at least 2 to 3 days in advance before you step into a space where you can light it up more or gain an answer. If you were to speak on this for 20 minutes, you can say, they asked me to bring my magic. And a lot of what my magic is I connect into the spaces that are being prepared to be lit up and seen or heard or recognized. And what that can look like for me is synchronicities that stand out. And so I'm keen on noticing patterns. I'm keen on when I hear something, when it catches my attention, I ask about it more, or I recognize and put it into like a bank vault. I heard that sound. I don't know what it is, but I heard it, right? I'm open to knowing the more. And so part of your magic also in teaching is I invite you to be open up to the more, not so much more, but the pings that are ready. So for me, if I was to explain a little bit of this, of like how I would work Jana's magic, is I like to grab sand and shake it out and find the nuggets. Not the whole sand and sea and all the beauty and all that, because you can get swept away and all that. You like to kind of shake it out to find the nugget, and then you see what's the relevant of this nugget. So tell me a little bit what you're hearing for you in this.
Well, it's kind of interesting because of already having that, like the gift of whatever it is, seeing those nuggets, hearing those beings, recognizing it, like being able to speak it to you and then have you say it back to me in what it means makes it make more sense.
Good.
Because like I'm not aware of the gifts that I have and what it is that I'm bringing. And so my question for you was like, what can I talk to Ruth about that's going to spark me into knowing what to do next? But then just the clarity that you brought with that of like, finding the nugget in noticing the synchronicities, the rhythm, stuff like that. And we were talking about rhythm in my last episode.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know what my rhythm is, but like I do nails and the sewing. And so finding the rhythm in like the file, the drill, even the conversation with people, like just finding the rhythm, keeping that beat, or the sewing machine, or,
really good. Yeah. And something else that you could kind of tap on a little bit is you're allowing things to matter. There's something that grabbed you. Notice what grabs you. But at the same time, you're going to want to start to define what is coming through for an answer and what's coming through as a role or a fear that's holding it back. And so another thing I'd like to invite you guys to do is just start to notice, is this the way it feels? Is this an answer? Am I supposed to listen to this? Or is this a trained distraction? And those are great nuggets, right? Because sometimes people who have so much going on and they hear so much, they get overstimulated, at which you'll be working with a lot of people that are overstimulated. You can be like, you're going to take that breath in and you're going to take the sand and you're going to sift it out for the nugget. And how we do this is you say, okay, you keep breathing and you say, show me the one thing I'm supposed to hear right now, or show me the one thing I'm supposed to see right now. And then once you get that nugget, now you say, what do I do with this nugget? And you can help simplify people's magic.
Oh, yeah. Because like I was saying,
amplify it and simplify it.
Yeah. I was even telling the guy out in the office, like answers grow from insight. And so like if you know a little bit about the astrology, or a lot of people are nervous about having card readings done. But if you can get a little bit of insight, then you can have answers. The answers grow from the insight that you have. And so same with like, if we figure out where the sun and the moon and the stars are and the planets and what's going on, that maybe like the crazy driver is because it's just that built up energy, right? And sometimes crazy drivers happen in Mercury retrograde or whatever, or like they're Mars is being really intense. And so everybody's got like this fighting energy, and it's not anything to take personal. But if you know what's going on,
now you know what to do with that.
Yeah.
Instead of all of that energy.
Yeah. Because all this stuff is coming towards you.
Yeah. You don't need to fear the retrogrades. You can understand what is the retrograde helping you recycle through so you can progress or navigate. Yeah?
Yeah.
Really good? Good. So, do you have anything you want to tell me? Last time we put her on the spot, she raised my grandpa. It was great for me. So, Dad, do you have a message for me?
Well, I'm actually thinking about like things that happen that slow us down, right? So,
Okay.
I heard something about you this morning about like falling in the mud, and just like everything is, even though you fell in the mud, everything is meant to happen exactly how it happens. And that like whatever time it killed for you to, have to go change your clothes or whatever the case may be, like perfect timing, meant to be. I showed up as a bonus. Thank you for accepting me. And then even like other people, their time frame got different. So I think last time I talked about, I don't even want to run by a clock. I just want to be with the flow. Yeah. So yeah, being in the flow of things and not taking it as a setback. That falling in the mud, it wasn't necessarily a setback. It was like on purpose, and it was a good thing.
Part of flow.
Yeah.
So she's talking about coming to film today. I live 2 hours away, and my horses is cold where we're at right now. They had drank all the water, and the kid horses were eating up my troughs. And so before I left, I tried to run out to put water in so they'd have water. And instead of drinking the water, they decided to play with the hose. And so that never filled with water. It just made a big muddy mess. And so I went out there to get it. And long story short, I ended up slipping in the mud and wrestling with the hose and everything else like that. The horses were laughing and running off. But I was muddy and needed to leave for this show. And so you're saying it worked out anyway,
Yeah.
everything worked out anyway.
So
Thank you for that. And thanks for just piping on again.
yeah.
And there you go. We have a little bit of how maybe you can see and feel what your magic is when someone says, just magic. Thanks for watching.